Introducing Ivotion Digital Dentures from Ivoclar. Experience unparalleled precision and efficiency with Ivoclar's state-of-the-art digital denture workflow.
Ivotion is available in their patent-pending monolithic disc that combines denture base and tooth materials in one seamless puck.
Ivotion is also available as standalone discs, Ivotion Base, Dent, and Dent Multi, that all in a 98mm width to fit your favorite milling machine.
With Ivotion, you can streamline your lab's processes, reduce production time, and enhance your patient satisfaction.
These things look amazing. Elevate your lab's capabilities with Ivotion Digital Denture, where innovation meets perfection. Discover the future of dentures today with Ivoclar. And as always, we thank you for your continued support of the podcast. Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 333 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
And my name is Barbara, and you know my lucky number is 6. So, 3 plus 3 is 6. Obviously, 333 is 9, but still, I'm looking at it like a good omen. What's up?
There you go. Not a whole lot. I'm just wondering when the back-to-school slowdown happens. I'm not seeing it in my area, and usually we dip a little bit. You know, that calm before the end of the year craziness. I am as busy as ever right now.
I know. We said that, I swear to God, yesterday. I'm like, we used to be able to predict. During the summer, we would slow down, everybody on vacation, and then all of a sudden, you're jamming. But we haven't stopped jamming. I did 45 today. Like, that's just insane. It's crazy.
45 units, all on, what, a couple cases or 45 different cases?
Oh, I had like 3 10 units and the rest. Ooh. So, yeah, I was busy. Happily busy, though. I love what I do. You know that. But, I don't know. I guess I got nothing for you. We didn't slow down.
Yeah, maybe everyone will take a break at Christmas. I don't know. I doubt it. Maybe.
We'll see. Or not.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So what's up?
So, hey, we're about a month away from the Race from the Future 10 that's happening in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we've talked about this a bunch on the podcast.
No.
But it doesn't mean we're going to stop.
Nope.
Because a bunch of us crazy technicians, we're going to swim, we're going to bike, and we're going to run to raise money for the Foundation for Dental Laboratory Technology.
When does this happen?
It all happened September 15th.
5 days after my birthday. Just saying. I'm already celebrating. I'm a month out. I celebrate all months. But okay. I just had to get that in.
I think you celebrate all year, don't you? I mean, you're
pretty much.
January 1st, you just start over again.
You know it, baby.
But we can't do this race without your help. Head over to dentallabfoundation.org and hit the Donate Now button. All you got to do is fill out some information and select Race for the Future and then enter a racer's name. Of course, we recommend either Barb Warner. Did you sign up for your 10K?
Yes, I freaking did, bro.
Nice.
I'm not just running it. I'm racing that motherfucker. Just saying.
Oh, you're going to win.
I don't know about that, but I'm going to race my heart out.
There you go. That's what counts.
Yep.
Or you can write The Abutments, which is myself, Mark Williamson, and Bobby Kenny, who combined to make The Abutments, the powerful triathlon team.
Great name.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Even though you call it the abutments.
Yeah, you've got to emphasize butt.
So please head over and donate some money, because all that money goes back into the industry to help grow and strengthen fellow technicians.
Donate today, guys. Please, please, please. We will beg. We have been.
We will.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been. I mean, nothing's new. We're still begging. So we are back again at the Jensen Dental booth at the FDLA Symposium 2024. When was this meeting? Like June something?
Sorry, I had to throw something at one of my cats who was attacking my other cat. Okay, yes, it was. It was about a couple months ago.
I was going to say, it seems like it was a while ago, but it also seems like it was just yesterday.
Because it was fantastic.
Did you throw a cat at the other cat to stop it fighting from another cat?
No, I use these things under my toes to give them, some oomph so I don't hurt my feet again, and I just threw that at him, and he freaked out and left her. He's a nasty.
Is that like the Florida equivalent of throwing a flip-flop?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. Wow, we got off track. Of course, we cannot thank enough for the amazing opportunity that Jensen Dental gave us to get these conversations that we've been showcasing over the last few weeks.
Or show cooking.
That's cooking.
Good too.
Let me tell you, Jensen is full of good people that care about dental labs and only want to help us make the best restorations possible.
Agree.
I'm sure they sell other things, but if you do any fixed work, check out MIYO, MIYO. Now, we all know Barb's a fan, but pretty much everyone else we talk to also enjoys it.
Yeah, and I heard from Joe Young. Shout out Joe Young that I was a little enthusiastic last week, so hopefully it's calmer.
You were just having a good time.
I was. Right. I love what I do. Okay.
So this week we start with a great conversation with two gentlemen that have done great things in their careers, Nick Azzara and Dany Sakr. Nick talks about his new role working with the DSO, and he fondly remembers the time he has worked with Dany. Now, Dany, he tells us his story of coming to America from Lebanon to learn dental technology in the early 80s.
Yeah, so great.
What were you doing in the early 80s, Barb?
I had big, giant hair, Elvis.
I bet you did.
Yep.
Could you share pictures with that so we could put it on our social media?
Yes, I will.
I'll find pictures of me in the 80s if you want to see the description of dork.
You had hair. I had big hair.
There you go. I did have hair. So Dany started with metal frames and eventually he moved to fix. Dany became a well-rounded technician that started a lab with only 2 people in 1 room. But now, Sakr Dental has 5 buildings with over 100 employees. Dany talks about his journey in his early labs, getting into digital real early, and what's next for the lab owner that likes to put his technicians first.
Next, we got to meet Ifet Ahmeti. I hope that's right, because normally Elvis pronounces these. Ifet just opened her lab in Tampa, Florida, just by me, but it definitely wasn't a straight path to the Sunshine State. She talks about going to the dental lab school in Albania, going to Switzerland to learn about quality, spending some time in Indiana learning removable work, to opening her own in-office lab in Philadelphia. Nicer weather, of course, enticed her to move her lab, and we talked about using the best materials, managing clients, especially when you're a solo lab, and the importance of seeing the patient in person.
And then we wrap up all of the FDLA with a conversation with the past podcast guest and all-around good person, Whitney Courtney. Whitney talks about her desire to get into education and how she got the role at NOAC Dental. You see, Whitney was the person that would teach labs how to use 3Shape, ExoCAD, and even Millbox when they decided to go digital and to partner up with one of the best companies in our industry, NOAC.
Hi, Sean.
We say Whitney was because while she loves education, since this conversation, she has headed back into a lab to do what she loves and what she does best. But during the conversation, Whitney talks about how she onboards a lab to digital, getting technicians to have their aha moment, and how she herself keeps up to date with the ever-evolving technology. So join us from the Jensen Dental booth as we talk with Nick, Dany, Ifet, and Whitney. Voices from the bench. The interview. This is exciting. FDLA 2024. We're here at the Jensen Dental booth, and we have some legends that sat down with us.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know
Dany
about legends.
Sakr from
Yeah, I don't
Sakr
know
Dental
about that.
Lab. Nick Azzara from somewhere.
Somewhere. working with a DSO now.
Yeah.
I'm running
Good for
the
you.
lab platform
Awesome.
for a company called Sunrava, which is about 535 offices in 21 states. So,
Sadrava. Are you
yes.
still here in Orlando?
Still living in Orlando,
Good for you.
but honestly, I love what I'm doing. Certainly get a chance to influence a lot of affordable care.
Yeah.
And work with great labs. But one of the best things, and really the purpose I'm here today is with Dany Sakr, Sakr Dental Arts, which it's interesting. I've known Dany for how many years?
How many years?
25 years.
25,
Yeah,
You guys
whatever
seem
it meant.
really tight.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! But then I had an opportunity to work for Dany post-COVID. He took me in,
Yeah.
Nice.
and got a chance to be inside of a really good lab.
The bungalow lab.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've been there.
That's your lab?
That's his lab.
Oh.
We started.
right.
We started in one room, and now we are over 5 duplexes. But we're excited. We
A new
purchased
place, right?
a new place,
Yeah.
22,000 square foot building, and we should be moving into within a year.
That's
So that's
awesome.
the life goal of mine, to be in a nice lab.
I'm
and
gonna
so
miss
on.
the bungalows, man. I
Well-
thought it was cool. I thought it was
We
neat.
might
I
we
enjoyed
might
working
keep them
there.
as a
As a
I
little
don't know as a
outsourced site.
yeah, whatever,
Historical
but
landmark.
museum, I guess.
So, Dany, how did you get into dental technology? What's your
Well,
background?
I'm
your story?
originally from Lebanon. I came here to go to school, and with the situation over there the way it is,
Yeah.
I mean, I stayed here. I got a job.
Did you come here for school for dental technology? How did
correct.
you even
How
learn
did
about?
you know?
Honestly, I didn't know much about it, so I
Yeah.
got lucky. A friend of mine, he came here to do the same thing. I don't know how
Okay.
he learned about it, but he hated it.
He hated it.
He grabbed you by the arm and
He-
said, "We're going to learn this."
I mean, he went to school. He finished the school. He didn't work a day in his life in the lab. From day one, I loved it.
Yep.
I mean, I remembered starting with dentures and doing bite trim, the smell of the wax and all that stuff. I'm like, wow, this is neat. This is interesting. And I loved it since. I've been doing it for since '83, basically.
Yeah.
So it's your lab. So
And
you founded it.
started from zero. I mean, worked for another good lab. I mean, we started with partial dentures right out of school. They closed the school down when I was going to school. And
While you're in it, they shut the program
after
down?
I finished, as soon as I
after,
finished,
yeah.
they shut
you were
it
the
down.
last class. Yeah.
In Orlando, we had 2 schools back then.
Yeah.
But the one of my teacher asked me if I want to do open a lab with him. He saw how passionate I was in
Sure.
school. So I said, yeah, why not? And so we did partial frames. And I was
That's it.
happy to learn removable first. But my goal was to be a ceramist like everybody else back
It was the
then.
80s,
and
yeah.
crowns and bridges and fixed stuff. But so I was lucky to start with the partial frames and dentures. That helped me later on when I switched
Yeah.
to fixed. All the attachment combination cases, then the
Yeah.
implant portion. You need dentures, you need.
It added
teeth
another
and-
realm for you.
So
Absolutely.
that helped me immensely, really. I mean, I tell people a lot. Just try to learn as much as you can about different specialties because it does help. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's one thing that kind of put me a little ahead of
Yeah.
other people. I
What was
guess.
the name of that first lab you guys opened together?
Esoteric Dental Lab.
Esoteric. I like
Esoteric
it.
Dental Lab. No, I'm sorry, that was the first Crown and Bridge Lab, but basically the partial frame that was Omega. Now,
Omega?
I haven't, nobody asked me about that round. Now I remember it. Omega Dental Lab is the partial frame lab, yes.
So, as a student, how did you have money to open a lab? I mean,
Well, that's the thing. I didn't have any money. I
Yeah.
mean, really. So my teacher, I mean, for a partial lab back then, when you
back
think
then,
about
yeah.
it,
What do you need? 300.
you need a $300 casting machine.
Yeah.
And
The
that was it.
some investment waxing.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
It's
it
different
wasn't
today. Yeah.
a lot different today. But so he had some equipment. He had the big lab. My teacher before he was
Oh.
teaching. So anyway, that's what we did, and from there we start growing.
Yes, we know.
Moving.
You're about 100 people or more, right?
We're a little over 100 people now.
That is very fantastic.
but,
Are you still at the bench?
I love doing work still, but I don't do it as much as I would like to.
I bet you're busy.
So lately, on the phone, helping, training, doing all the stuff that, a big lab now is required. But my dream is always to have a room on my own, leave me alone, no phone calls, get me on the bench, and give me a nice case, let me go at it.
Let me just go.
That's my dream. So
your new building, is there a smaller building behind it just for you, so you can like escape?
Sounds like you may have a room in there.
We're gonna manage something. Yeah, I mean, there's plans for that, I guess.
Good for you.
We'll have a great. I mean, everybody embarrassed me just 5 minutes ago. Happy birthday! It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Is it today?
So, I mean, I don't know if you heard them, but they were quite loud on the other corner of the hall.
And that was torture for you. You don't want to even recognize your birthday at the lab, let alone at the lab meeting.
Exactly.
So how did you guys meet, Nick? And
Luckily, Lou, every story for me in this industry came through my brother Lou, right? So Lou was down here in Florida and met Dany, and then that brought me to Florida. And got a chance to meet Dany throughout the years, but then luckily had an opportunity that Dany actually allowed me to work for him for many years. And that's really where I got a chance to work in the lab for multiple years and understand his thought process, his workflow, his vision for how to service clients and the type of work he wanted to do, and also the passion he has just to help technicians get to their next level. Like, it's hard to take somebody from where they are to go where you want them to be. Sometimes they don't have their own vision. They really fully don't understand the clinical part. And Dany's one of those special people like you guys.
Mentor.
Yeah, that you're really going to mentor people and help them and be patient with them through that process. It was a brilliant, beautiful part of my career to work side by side and watch him develop all these people and develop the clients, and then really exponentially build the business. It almost happens by this magic but behind it, it's all these little personal development stories that
it's kind of like my dad. You have to have a really great leader to build a really great company. Honestly,
I think looking for those great leaders and understanding what that is and the struggles it is to be that, the sacrifices that leader needs to make.
Sacrifice is a great word.
To me, it's like, what a great business, what a great industry, and so on. And I loved it, like I said, from day one. And I encourage all. I try to get as many people from the lab here as possible. I want to take care of their, don't worry about money. Just come here.
Learn.
I'll take care of it, but just learn. I want to be successful. I want to see them successful. Nick knows, I learned a lot from Nick, while he was with us in the lab, and all the positiveness and all the encouragement that he shows to everybody. And it's about educating everybody and elevate the work. I cannot have enough of it. It's my hobby. It's my, I'll do it the rest of my life, basically.
How are you able to learn the digital part of it, or have you learned some of the digital? Are you into that
honestly,
at all personally?
We started early on. Through all the lectures and classes and hands-on classes, I met Enrico Steger from Zircon.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one who started those big implant cases and the CAD CAM. He had the manual machine. I had bought the manual machine. Did one case only on it. Went back to Atlanta to learn, to get better at the manual milling, the master class basically. And this is when they had gotten the first CAD CAM milling machine to do those big cases. And they told me, instead of doing manual, now you can do it with this machine. What do you mean? How is that possible? And when I saw it, I got the machine immediately. My wife
that was not like $200,000 back then.
My wife was
no
not
joke.
After investing $80 in the first machine and doing one case.
So my wife was not happy with me for me buying the manual one. $30,000, with this and that, and then
you used it once.
Used it once. So I did that bridge. That bridge costed me $30,000.
Oh.
If you think about it this way. Plus the expense of traveling and so on. But I went back to the master class. They showed me the machine, and I have to come and tell my wife. Now we have to spend. 4 months later, I said, "Guess what? I have to buy another one."
Because you're that busy with it.
Yes, and if it breaks, what do you do? If you're bending a big case, what do you do with the rest of the work? Yeah. One day we were doing everything analog, one way. From one day to the other, we moved 180 degrees to zirconia and so on. I still remember one big case we did where it was implant. I mean, everything was done in zirconia. I called the prosthodontist we were doing that case for. I said, guess what? We did the whole case, telescopic coping, everything in one material. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, you cannot see it and let me know. I mean, I still remember that case.
Yeah.
But that's the passion. That's the
so you were early adapter.
Early
for
adapter. So luckily, we have 12, 13, 14 milling machine. Honestly, some of them are not in use because we don't have the room for them now. But we have everything in the lab. Early on we started with that. But my stuff, I've never scanned a case.
Yeah.
You've never scanned one
Not
case.
one case. So, let the younger guys, let the guys that are, into technology
That's
and so
true,
on.
though.
So, I mean, that's how. But I can sit behind somebody and say, okay, add here, add there, and do something as nice as you want just by instructing
them.
somebody,
Yeah.
helping
You
them.
couldn't click and control and design, or
He still doesn't answer emails, so he doesn't have a computer.
That was my father, honestly. Radar range.
Yeah. So
Radar range.
I can count on one hand how many emails I've done. So I mean, people look at me. It's like, where does he come from? But anyway,
Obviously, somewhere pretty smart. You don't need emails. You need technology.
Exactly. It worked for me.
Yep.
But we love analog still, even though we have so much digital. I mean, Nick knows. How to. And we have systems like articulation, mounting every case the way it's supposed to, asking the dentist to give us the good record. Nobody wants to do facial the face bows, but the coarse facial analyzer record. That's such an easy system to have and mount the upper arch on the articulator the way it's supposed to, the way it is in the mouth, canted up, whatever it is, and start from there.
So you're printing models and then still mounting them on
we can do that, or regular stone models. So
you get a lot of impressions in still? Or?
We still have lots of impression. I would say we're still at 50%, believe it or not.
That's
pretty
surprising.
substantial.
Surprising.
But you do a lot of
Florida.
removable.
We do a lot of removable too.
So
I
you're
mean,
getting a lot of
sometimes they scan for some removable, but still, I mean, especially on the lower arch, as you know, I mean, it's not easy to capture all the landmarks, the anatomical landmarks, and so on. But yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, I feel bad for the industry in some ways. It's shrinking a little bit. Lots of people are retiring. I mean, the new blood is. I mean, they need to learn more analog. And like yesterday with Peter Pizzi, he's mentioned that it's our fault that we're not teaching them analog. You put them on on the computer and do this and do that. But really, we should. But it's challenging. There's no question, But to me, I'm always looking at it in a positive way. I mean, with all those challenges, that's opening. If you think positively, you're gonna open big doors for whoever wants to go.
100%, yeah.
So, and then you don't want to just focus on just a crown. Every lab in the whole world can do a crown. Dentists are doing crowns now, and so on. What can we do to separate ourselves from everybody else?
Yeah.
So we do a lot of obturator cases. We do a lot of mandible reconstructions. We do some really complex cases. We did a year and a half ago to Saudi Arabian prince. The surgeon was in Jacksonville, the prosthodontist in Orlando. We worked with them to work on this case, printed the mandible, I mean, quite interesting stuff.
Cool.
Very cool. And the funny thing, at the end, after the temporary was done, he wanted 2 zirconia bridges, not one. I was like, okay.
Why?
So he's got another one.
Just in case, I mean, he's in Saudi Arabia. We're here. He just flew as a backup.
So how did you know you wanted to build a new facility?
I didn't. I mean,
that's a big risk.
Well, no, honestly, I mean, being 100-something person lab is like, wow, this is, how did you plan? It wasn't planned this way. We started in one room with 2 people, and we kept on expanding and expanding and expanding. And of course, when we got into the CAD CAM, that helped us grow faster because very few people had it.
Yep.
And now we started getting work from out of state. When they asked who can do those zirconia bridges,
they can.
They gave few names, and then we started doing stuff. I mean, I've never, by the way, we've never ever had a salesperson in the lab. I mean,
Ever?
not one salesperson, not
Wow.
one day. So it's just word of mouth,
Yeah.
just do the right thing.
Good work will bring
I
work,
mean,
yeah.
that's how we built that lab. So, but yeah, it wasn't planned this way. So we
Is your wife happy about it?
now she is.
You're
Now-
asking the tough
I gotta
questions.
ask that question.
now she
This
That's
is
a
why
hell of a lot
everybody's
more than a
afraid
mill.
to come on the show.
My wife was a hygienist. Her dad was a dentist.
Oh, so she
So
gets it.
she understand
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little not that, not fully, but in the beginning. Now she does. But yeah, I mean, she took care of the kids and the house. I said, let me do what I do. You do what you want to do. I mean, it was. I have to give her
works.
all the accolade too, because if she did not allow me to do what I did, I mean, we would not be here.
Yeah.
So Mary Sakr,
That's
thank you.
sweet.
And she's heavily engaged right now in the business. She's on the financial side and
Yeah, exactly.
and management side, so she's fully vested.
Yeah.
And you need that in a
You need
partnership.
that, especially with financial.
Oh, big
Somebody
time.
you trust.
Yeah.
But really, weekends, late, I don't have to tell you. I mean, we're technicians. I mean, lots of people did that. I mean, it took a lot. I still work long hours. I mean, it's not like it's over. You go home, you're thinking about it.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
looking, I mean, it's just business. You're entrepreneur. You have to, in a way.
You got 100 people depending
Yeah,
on
yeah.
you and your
Yeah.
It's a
business.
big job.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Wow,
really, I
pressure.
cannot say enough about the group, the team we have. I mean, unbelievable team we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I can start naming names, but I don't want to miss anybody. But
We don't want to have
So
you on
we're-
the podcast that long to name 100 people.
yeah, exactly. We're lucky. I mean, we ask for them a lot, but they give us so much, and
Yeah.
I want to be as generous as I can be with them. And so, yeah, thank you.
What do you do
my
for a
team.
lab meeting? Does everybody go outside since you're in 5 different buildings? How do you get everybody together?
It's hard,
I bet.
Sometimes we do meet outside.
Do you?
believe it or not. I mean,
I
you've been
bet,
there. You've
yeah.
been there, but no, in the new facility, we're gonna have a lot. It's gonna be a lot different, a lot
Sure.
more fun, a lot
for
more.
you.
So yeah, I mean, starting from zero. I mean, really, it's only in America. I love the country. I love the United
Success
States. I
story.
mean, it's just
Right here.
you cannot do it in any other place. I mean, it's just I was embraced from day one. You work hard. You're honest. You help people. People are gonna love you and they help you. And so I mean, I cannot say enough how lucky I am to be in. I mean, that's home. I mean, when you think about it, I'm 63. I've been here for 42. It is home. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're not quitting anytime soon.
Well, I mean, my wife wants me to quit, but I'll be doing dentistry till the day I die, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
For
just, but at the same time, I have to be fair to her. So I need to,
Yep.
we need to travel. We need to do things. We just got back from Europe last week, in a way.
Nice.
So because of my good team, now I can,
You can trust it.
trust
yeah.
and
That's,
go.
It's a good
and
feeling.
that's the way it should be.
So that's me. But thank you for Nick. Nick, I cannot say enough about Nick Azzara. I mean, all his knowledge and people he knows. Everybody knows Nick and
Yeah.
Lou.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they are like family to me too. I mean, they consider me family. I consider them family. So
I'm very grateful, and so many people are grateful to all of you guys for exposing. And my claim to fame is I see good things, and I say, "Wow, that's really good."
yeah,
That's so I like being exalted for that.
that's a
But
gift.
I don't know if it's a gift or I just get lucky,
Yeah.
right? And I got
Maybe
lucky.
a little bit of both.
Yeah, well, whatever it may be, but just then the opportunity to work in a lab day after day, working with Danny and the team, just like I would love the opportunity to work with you, Barb. It's special. It's something different, right? When you see what people actually do, all those nuances. Yeah. So you don't get that from a course. You don't get that from a book. Right,
so
but
true.
yeah, and just the way you guys would hold a model or approach a case or solve a problem, I think that's what that education is missing for a lot of people who don't get that opportunity, that mentorship part of it. And I also see it from my perspective when I'm working with thousands of doctors in a group setting, is that they're missing that mentorship from other doctors. that maybe is not so easy to get these days.
God, and they need it.
That's a great point.
And Barbara, you might not know it. I met you last year for the first time, really. I mean, you sat next to me at the lunch over there and so on. And, I mean, even, I was looking up when I heard the first time that, I mean, you do those nice special cases, the AACD certified and all that stuff.
Thank you.
So it's funny sometimes, you don't know this person is thinking of, me and but we look up for people that are, done this and done that and so on. I mean, that's what's the passion that you have to have, I mean, to be able to keep learning and so on. So thank you for,
Absolutely.
you
Thank you for
and
recognizing that.
I've never met you, like I said before last year, but I was thinking of your name, you and what you do and so on
Thank you.
with your lab. So anyway,
Awesome.
it's you go to classes, you see those big guys. The first Yamamoto when he was here, you might remember Yamamoto when he came to the FDLA. Gosh, it
don't
was
remember that.
30,
Do you remember
35,
that?
40
yeah.
years ago.
35, 40 years ago.
I mean, it was a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, and I bought
Mark's
his.
only 30.
I bought his book, and I remember Metal Ceramics. His book was $140. I went back to the lab, and people thought I was crazy to pay $140 for a book
Yeah.
back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the guy worked 10 years, day and night, to come up with that book. He's giving me all that for $140, and you think that's too much? I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's true though.
I mean, all the nice photography, all the description, all the stuff that he worked so hard to do.
You still have the book?
I still have the book.
I still have that book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
So anyway, but that's what it takes. That's what I tell my younger technicians. It's
Sure.
like, it's all yours. You can do it. I did it. We all, it's like, but yeah, I mean, anyway, it's in your blood. Yeah, sometimes I think you either have it or you don't, but
True that. Well,
I love
thank
your
you.
passion, man.
Yeah.
Great.
thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you as well.
It's a great honor, really. And
a lot of
I was afraid for a long time
Yeah, I
to come
know.
on and speak to you
That
guys.
was it was harmless, right?
Harmless.
super, super.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Danny,
Well, thank
Nick,
you
thank
both.
you
Good
so
job.
much.
Yeah,
Good job to
appreciate
you
it.
guys.
Thank you.
Really.
Guys.
you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Keep doing the great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are you writing over there? That's a long name.
The lab. It's my
Oh.
new lab name. So it used to be different. Now it's Dentart
Yeah.
Dental Studio. It used to be Ifet.
We are here at the FDLA 2024, coming at you from the Jensen Dental booth.
Yes.
We have with us, and I'm going to mess this up, Ifet
Ahmeti.
What is the last name?
Ahmeti.
Ahmeti?
So where are you from? Do you own a dental laboratory?
Yes. Originally, I'm from Macedonia, but I'm Albanian. And yes, I own a dental lab right now in Tampa for 3 months, Florida. I've been in Philadelphia
I was
for
gonna say, I
6
thought
years.
you were in
I'm in
Philadelphia.
Tampa.
Oh, nice.
Good for you.
I was in Philly for 6 years, and I just moved here, and I'm just trying to figure
Enjoy
it
the
out.
weather? Oh, I mean,
Enjoying the weather. Yes, I love it here. It's beautiful. It's nice.
yeah,
The main reason why I'm here.
sure.
But I just opened the lab here, doing crown and bridge, all fixed, no removables, and high-end.
Good.
Doing veneers mostly, cosmetic work, implants, all on fours,
So let's,
single
Wow.
units.
let's go back.
Yeah, sure.
Where did you learn about dental technology? Where did you learn the trade?
Where? So my brother back home, he's a dentist, and that's
Oh.
how I got
Bingo.
into this. Yes, and then I studied in Albania for dental technician. Then
Did you go to school?
I went to school.
Was it a
yes,
2-year degree?
3-year degree.
3-year.
Yes, certified dental technician.
Wow.
Albania. Then I got certified in Macedonia. I started. That wasn't enough. The quality of the work there wasn't good enough. And we're talking about back in 2009 when I graduated. And then I went to Switzerland for a month or two. I saw different world, different quality.
Yeah, that's
Much
high
better, right?
quality.
Much better.
Yeah.
So I knew that's what I want. Then I
Did you
moved
go to Switzerland for the high
for that,
quality?
For that. My sister lives there, but I went to
Okay, so you
get
had
trained.
somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
okay.
course. But
So when
I
you went
knew.
to Switzerland, did you work for a lab?
I watched, basically. And it's not that I worked. I wasn't allowed, but I watched. So all the time I was watching how they do. Like it would take them a day to polish a gold crown.
A day to polish a gold crown?
Really under the microscope and really like much more detailed.
Is there anything left?
Yes. That's exactly. And I knew that's what I wanted. And then I worked, my first job was my old boss, I just met him, Michael Suarez. I love the family Suarez. He's in Indiana, so I worked with them for 3 years.
You're in Indiana for a while at Mike's lab?
That's his area.
Yeah, I've been in Indiana.
Oh, really?
I had no
That's
idea
where I
you were
started
there.
with dentures, yes.
Yeah.
And Tanya.
And that's when you knew you didn't want to specialize in dentures when you owned a lab?
Well, the thing is, when you work in a big lab, you really do one thing at a time. So I wasn't that person. I was running from one department to another one. So jumping, basically trying to learn CAD/CAM. He was new with CAD/CAM with Sirona back then. He's been giving lectures and
he was
training
big
people.
in lab and stuff, yeah.
Yes,
Who is it again?
Mike Suarez?
Michael Suarez, yeah. And I started learning CAD/CAM, doing porcelain after hours though, because that was my own time. So I was hungry. And then I worked with a couple of master ceramists, Josh Polensky. I worked with Peter Pizzi. And then I was...
Peter Pizzi was here.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was here yesterday.
I just came today, so I didn't see him. And then I worked... where else did I work? I worked in so many places.
Yeah.
So basically from one lab to another one, getting trained all the time. But my biggest thing was Olivier Trick. I started getting trained by him. And the time when I was doing single centrals every day, I had no idea what I'm doing. So basically he was like, come here, I'm going to train you. And also he pushed me to open my own lab back in time. And since then, I'm just trying to get better and better.
So you opened up your own lab in Philly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
And you ran that for a while.
Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
But I've been in the States since 2012. So it's a lifetime journey. I would say never stop learning.
Yeah.
Always going to courses, always new materials, new products, nice seeing people, especially you guys always making us laugh with your memes and jokes. So thank you. I appreciate for inviting me. More or less, that's what we do. So I really want to, my main goal right now is like, I really want to focus in this area, but I work with clients with all over. The one thing that, and the second thing, I want to get better, basically, improve. Because, the difference is when you work with other people, you do art and you won't try to do your best. And then you open your business and you have to do the art and the business and the numbers, something that you are not, that is very tough. Yeah. Too many hours, too much pressure, too many things going on. But I guess I survived that 5 years I passed. I was in-house. That curve that they are saying I pushed so hard. I was in-house with Amsterdam Dental Group, a big, amazing group in Philadelphia, all peri-pros specialized doctors.
Oh, you were their in-house technician?
No, I had my own lab in there.
In there?
Yes.
Wow.
And they used you.
And I worked with other
doctors.
doctors.
And you learned a lot, I bet.
Yes, a lot. A lot. It's a big help. I love seeing patients. I'm missing right now because I'm not in-house anymore. Yeah. So I'm trying to go to local labs. So another service that I do is, not labs, I'm sorry, to local offices. So I take my camera, go do custom shade, or they send the patient, because I love seeing patients. You learn a lot. You really need to understand what they need, what they want. Yeah. So that helped. And more or less.
Did you have clients follow you from Philadelphia?
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Once a client that you take care of, they're loyal, that's for sure.
The good thing is what they love about working with a smaller lab or 1-2 person. I've been 2-person max.
I was going to ask, so it's 2-person lab, yourself? And
right now I'm by myself, but back in Philly I was 2 people. So I had an assistant who would help me design models, print them, mill, and I was in between though, showing, teaching. It's difficult to find a technician. Hopefully in this area I can find more, because in Philly I couldn't really find, and not much people now want to get trained. As I see the younger generation, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Are you experiencing?
Yeah, I think you find ones that do, and then you find ones that don't.
Because there's no school in Pennsylvania. That's another thing. So it hasn't been easy for me to train someone, maybe because I'm too picky. I don't know what it is. I need to be more relaxed, I guess. But, certain things need to be in a certain way. And the good thing about me is that, clients are free to text, to call,
Same.
to ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
They have patient on the chair and they will call me like, take a look at the scan. What do you think? Do I need to reduce more? Do I need to rescan? These little things, and then they try in. They take pictures, they send. I tell them like, we can change this, we need this or that. What cement to use? So all the little details that you don't really get from a big lab, even though the big labs, as we know, they are doing a great job. But when doctor calls, they don't have a ceramist to communicate with. So that's the difference that I offer. And other than that, I'm just trying, highest quality as best as we can.
What kind of technology do you have? Do you outsource a lot of your
I
frameworks?
don't.
Or do you
No,
do?
I don't. I do everything myself. So I
Jeez.
design everything. I mill everything. I have, can I say names? Brand names?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Adite, number one, I would say, for zirconia. I use different stains, with that being GC, MIYO, the most popular ones now that are, Adite as well.
Yep.
I mill in-house. I layer porcelain. I would say 98% of the cases are digital. So basically, no impression.
So they come in scans?
Yes, scans. We do a lot of implants, a lot of single units, bridges as well. Not as much all-on-fours, which I'm looking forward to because I'm still learning that, It's more difficult than...
You doing everything on 3Shape or ExoCAD?
This is ExoCAD,
ExoCAD.
Designing on ExoCAD, milling,
You're doing all this yourself?
Yes.
That's pretty intense.
That's why dental technicians are a little...
Oh, we know.
Wow.
Not normal.
We're not normal. Not even close.
And I press veneers because everyone...
you still press?
First question.
So are you
every
milling
doctor
wax
calls,
or are you waxing?
Milling.
So design, then mill the wax, then press it.
Or milling or printing wax.
Okay.
Both ways
work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And other than that, I cut back everything. Not everything. Most of the works, interiors, of course, are layered.
Yeah.
Posteriors are monolithic, as we know. Like one thing that I really care about is like using the best materials. Like I always had this since I worked for other labs, and I always worked for high end, so they would use whatever best brand for. Furnace, porcelain. I never looked at the price of the product. As long as it works, it's good for me. It's high quality. So I think that has a lot to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes my mill broke down months ago. I had to send out like every other case with chip. I don't even know what they used, So it's really important what product you use. And thank God we are like, I would say like, I don't want to use the no remake lab, but remake is not even a word. I don't do as much as production as other labs, bigger labs, of course. But, I mean, if anything goes wrong, we know how to
Because you did
fix
it every step of the way.
Yes, that's a good thing. About the bad thing is too much responsibility. But if you've done everything, like the moment doctor calls, you can tell, like, with a couple of questions, like, you can really tell what went wrong, how to fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically,
Do you even try to get more business? Do you advertise? Or
Never. So far, since I opened, thank God, since I opened the lab, because I was in-house, I had clients, and they referred friends, colleagues, and I always had more people, and there are times that I need to stop, not ask for more, but I have to say, hey, I'm sorry, I cannot accept. Or even my regular clients, I tell them, listen, I'm too busy. Please do not send me posteriors, let's say, for this period of time.
That's a really good self-care, though.
Well,
don't send them.
It's not hopefully, I don't know what you call it, but self-care, like I care more about their work being done well than me making more business, because I can spend hours and hours there. I sacrifice myself basically when it comes to the work to be done as good as possible. But if it's overwhelming, the work is not going to go as well. If you rush, and I'm not a person to rush, I have to do.
It's all the little details that you're missing because you're rushing.
No matter who the client is, who the patient is, you need to do your best. So.
How often does that happen, though? That you have to say, don't send me
Well,
work.
my regular clients, so I just told him last week, like, hey, it's getting a little slow. Do you want to start sending?
Yeah.
The other way can happen too.
Yeah.
So because, let's say my regular clients, only for them I do posteriors. Other clients that are, send less, I would say, I do a couple of big cases for them. So with them, I only do anteriors. So I really have to be selective. I cannot,
yeah.
I don't have like a lot of clients that say, let's say that they send everything. I don't accept that. When a new client calls, I need to tell them, okay, I have this many clients, let's say right now, and I'm able to do a certain amount of work. I tell them this
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
crowns or veneers, so please send me only the high-end cases. That's how I start.
Yeah.
You know how some labs, bigger labs, would
Smart.
say, I had to choose though. I cannot say, okay, send me anything just so I make money. No, that's not the point. Money comes with quality and work. It does come.
Yeah.
So I have to be selective. And thank God, so far I always worked with very good doctors.
Yeah.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
And because of my background as well. So, and they care. They really communicate. They take pictures. They explain what they want. They communicate with the patient. It's so important.
Do you require that?
Of
The
course.
pictures and everything?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot. So let's say I have a lot of requests for single central. Since I got better at it, like 2 years ago, maybe was my year of single centrals.
Oh, yeah.
And new doctors every week. And I said, I cannot accept a doctor to come first case single central. I cannot. That's the biggest mistake
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
it's-
make
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't have a relationship. You don't know how they work. You don't have. You don't know their camera, the way they take pictures, the way they communicate. So you really have to be like to choose what you are starting with.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've done it, but I regret because something can go wrong. Single central is the most
Oh,
difficult,
yeah.
and then
For sure.
they can say, oh, but I did a case with her, it didn't work. Well, it's gonna be 1 try, 2 tries. Sometimes it goes in without even no pictures, nothing. But
Sometimes that
nobody
doesn't
guarantees.
happen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen. You know
Yep.
better. So you need to be careful who you work with.
Yep, agreed.
So yeah, so far so good. I'm happy.
Well, good luck to you.
It sounds like you're
Sounds
controlling
awesome.
your destiny
Yep,
here. I mean,
I
being
love
able
it.
to choose
I
what you
have
want to
to.
do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's the
have to.
dream of a lot of technicians.
There's a saying says, if you don't plan your day, someone else is gonna plan it for you.
Oh, so
like
true.
that.
So I wake up and I tell my fiance, I'm like, hey, would you like to do this or that? I give options though. I'm not selfish to say I want to do this. I give options, so we decide together, and this is in business as well. So
Awesome.
on daily basis,
Do you want to
need
help
to
me
plan.
make crowns, or do you want to watch me make crowns? Those are your options.
No, watch me. Learn how I do it so you can do it the way I want.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, that's the only way, honestly. I'm a good student.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning from other people, and I was
Sure.
always hungry to learn and watch people. And, then if I see it in someone, I really teach them. I put my heart and I teach them. I help them. I help so many people. I had assistants who worked with me for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then they are continuing as dental technician. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to teach, and I want to be able to, to pass it to someone.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you're doing great.
Thank
you.
you. I
for talking
appreciate
to
it.
us.
Welcome to
Good
Florida.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I
Thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you.
Hey, that's what mine looked
They're
like
so
before.
bad.
Yeah, I take advantage of not being in lab every day, so I can't have
Good for
these.
you.
There you
Yeah.
go. We are super excited. Here we are at FDLA 2024, the Jensen Dental booth, and we have Florida native
Yeah.
Whitney Courtney
I love that
joining
name.
us again.
Whitney Courtney.
Whitney.
Whitney.
Yes. that's
How
what I
are you,
emphasize on.
Whitney?
I'm good. I'm
We
good.
talked to you out of Whitmix a long time ago.
I was
long
just
time
going to
ago.
say, it's been years
Yeah,
and years.
it has been a
Time
while.
goes by way too fast.
yeah.
Yes.
And you're with NOAC now.
Yes.
Yes.
How's
give it
that
up.
going?
It's going good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that all happen?
It's been a couple years, right? You
Yeah.
didn't just go.
Yeah, no, since
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did it happen?
Well, I knew that I wanted to venture into the education side of things.
Yeah.
I was pretty passionate about it because I'd worked in the lab on different scales, small and large.
Yep.
And still the same problems can
Yep.
happen. And so in the digital workflow, a lot of things are misunderstood. This software doesn't work right. The scanner doesn't work right. I don't like that. I can just do it with my hand, and you can.
Yeah.
But a lot of the issues are from just very simple things that technicians...
Misunderstandings?
Yes, and that they don't know and just need to be properly trained on. Also, a lot of times in labs, training when someone comes on new is secondhand, right? And things are always changing in digital.
So fast.
The software, the equipment, always upgrading. So keeping up with that was very important to me. And the outcome of the cases, you know, be in the lab and have a $10,000 case done, and everyone's standing around looking at it, not knowing what the problem is or why that won't go down all the way.
Oh, God, that's so disturbing.
The scan body wasn't down.
Yeah.
So just very simple
Way
things
back
like
to
that.
the beginning.
Yeah, so when I decided I wanted to go into doing that, I had actually asked Sean to be a reference on my resume.
Wow.
Because there was not a position at NOAC that I knew of, right?
Yeah.
So he says, well, you're looking for work, send me your resume. So I did, and I pitched this to him, like, this is what I want to do, bring education to technicians. It's a need in our field.
Yep.
And he said, I think this is perfect, because they had been also trying to gear towards that on the education.
I think he created the position for you,
Yeah,
Whitney.
yeah, I'm pretty
Well,
sure
it was a
that's how it
no-brainer for him. Hello.
Because he just started the NOAC Digital, I think is what it was called. Yeah.
Yes. So Hijin Yang, and he's my direct boss, him and Sean. Yes, Hijin kind of leads the digital division. He's the head of that. And so Hijin had been there for some time before I came on, and so we teamed up. So I have the opportunity and privilege to work with him, and he has so much experience and knowledge in so many things that I needed professional growth in and training. And, you know, these events and education sessions, people don't just walk in and sit down. There's so much work that goes behind putting it together successfully so that it's a good experience for the
100%.
attendees and technicians, and that they're able to get quality education out of it, you know. That's another thing. I always think about that when I'm prepping for a course or to go teach someone. I want to make sure that they really get it. You know, it's something good for them that they can take home and apply. They took the time to be here, you know, sit down and give me their time. So I want them to be able to take it home and make it useful. And so we're building that resource, you know, NOAC as a digital solution for people.
Smart.
In support, education, equipment, software, all these things. And even NOAC has all just your traditional lab needs as well.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's a whole solution for people.
You need base plate wax, you can get that too.
Yeah. Right? Because some people are kind of half and half, just toes in the water in the
you can't
digital.
do everything
Yeah,
digital.
true.
Yeah, and it's okay, because I've also seen some people transition just a small portion of their lab. Hey, we're going to just start with a printer, or start at one step, and as they grow and they get confident in that, and they're able to transition more digitally.
What are you teaching most?
I was going to ask
Software?
you, what do you do day to day? Obviously, we know you're teaching, but do you travel a lot? Do people come to their facility?
Yeah, so we do on-site training. That's my preference for training, just because we do remote and on-site, but they're customized. So I feel that I'm able to give kind of a unique experience for anybody who wanted to do training with us, because I'm a technician and because I know how to do these cases. I'm not going to teach somebody if I don't know how to do it.
That's pretty spectacular.
If a lab calls you, they say, I need help with whatever.
But it's also something NOAC that they get through NOAC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you asked what I teach on. So ExoCAD, 3Shape, Mailbox. The last one I did.
Does NOAC sell 3Shape?
3Shape and ExoCAD.
And ExoCAD. I didn't know they did both.
Yes,
Oh, they're
we
fancy.
do. And we support both, and we train on both. And Mailbox also. And although we don't sell iMetric, I did my last teaching on site at a lab was 3Shape and iMetric for the photogrammetry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I travel a lot. If they want to do it on site, I feel that it's a better experience for them.
Yeah, they're in their spot.
100%.
They're in their lab, their environment, and I don't try to change their workflows or what they're doing. If they have this is my certain way of doing things, hey, that's good. Now we're going to incorporate it digitally so you can get your same results. So I've got to experience a lot of different labs, a lot of different ways people do things.
I bet that was eye-opening, right?
Yes, and it's super exciting. I always feel charged when I get to go to those labs, even the ones that are covered in denture dust. It's my favorite because there's a lot of work going on in there, So just helping people maximize what they can do and give the best outcome, right? Because any work that goes out the door to a doctor, that represents us as lab technicians
100%.
and what our abilities are. So if we can really kind of fine-tune that, perfect that, and what they know how to do with their hands, do it in the computer with their hands.
And then they can use you still as a reference, right? Hey, Whitney, I need help. Or
Absolutely.
I bet that happens a lot, too.
Well, so
Not that you're not training. I'm just saying when they get a glitch or when they need a little bit of a, nudge.
Yes, so I try to, when I do the trainings, not just like training of, hey, this is how you do a crown or this is how you do an all-on-4. We simulate situations, print the products out, sometimes adjust the occlusion down, do a wash and a denture, rescan it back in. We simulate situations of what you would do if once you send it out, it goes out for the try-in, the doctor made all these changes. Okay,
What do you do now?
Yeah, what do you do now? So I try to give them almost every possible scenario that they would deal with. Yes, and so the support calls are actually pretty minimal after that.
Cool.
I do a follow-up with them about 2 weeks later, but everybody's pretty set when that happens.
So how long is your in-lab training? Is it all day, 2 days?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's either 2 days or 4 days.
Oh, wow.
So if we do 4 days, we usually split it up like a Thursday, Friday, the next week or 2 weeks later, a Thursday, Friday.
Smart, yeah, so you're not there because they're losing all that production time too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives them the opportunity, if it's a 4-day, typically it's when they're doing a complete software switch, like from in-lab to ExoCAD or another software to 3Shape.
Yeah. But you take them through everything. I mean, you're like, I just bought 3Shape for the first time. You have to teach them how to set where your files are going to be.
Yes.
How do you enter a case? You have to do all of that?
Yes. So that's why the difference is if it's a 2-day or a 4-day. So if it's a 4-day, like I said, it's typically a complete software switch. So those first 2 days, we're doing like basic covering of the whole software, your basic situations, all the keys, tools, crown and bridge cases mostly. If they were an all-on-4 lab, we would start more with like single implant crowns, custom abutments.
Well, they're probably, if you're all-on-4, you've probably already done the other stuff for a while.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you getting into it just for all-on-4, or maybe not.
Yeah, so I think it depends. Like sometimes technicians, when they're in the lab, that may be something new to them. Hey, the doctor wants me to learn implants, or my boss wants me to learn implants.
Wow.
So then we'll start that training and go through the basics of implant cases and then move up to the all-on-4. So during that time span of the first 2 days and the last 2 days, they've been able to apply what they learned and then have questions that are real life for them.
Have you gone into a lab that had nothing and trained them from ground to up?
Yes.
Like you walk in there and they just bought 3Shape, they just bought some scanners and a mill, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yes.
Do you give them any prep work before you roll in?
Yes.
You need to look at this.
Yes, please watch these YouTube videos. So I actually do like a preliminary log on just where I make sure all of their software and everything's talking to each other correctly so there's no tech support issues when I get there.
Oh, that would be bad if you got
smart.
there and you couldn't get the
And then you
scanner
couldn't
to
do
work.
anything.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. No, couldn't do it. I definitely set up for success.
Sure.
And then they have a training guide that they print out to have present with them so that they can take notes on the things that's going to be important for them to note, to be able to reference back later when they're working through these cases. And then as far as like any kind of like, hey, watch this video. I haven't really done anything like that yet, but we do discuss what type of cases we're going to go through so that they're prepared.
Yeah.
And so then
Awesome.
if it's a lab, a removable lab, mostly for removables, I will ask them to have cases ready for us to scan in from scratch and start going, because although I have scans, they're all digital. Mm-hmm. So if you're taking a removable lab from analog to digital, they're going to have those models there. So
you got to make sure they know what to do with them.
Yes, yes. So that's kind of the only prep work that they do.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, how do you keep yourself updated on everything that's happening with the softwares? Do you go to class?
Yeah, these things update all the time.
How do you keep yourself versed in everything?
Exocad.
That's a great question, too. So internally in our company, we have webinars with vendors whenever new things are coming out. And, like, for example, Exocad's Quick Snap, like I was on that webinar. So then on our software, we're able to take what I learned.
Yep.
There's multiple of us in those classes, but take what we learn and apply them and keep up. And then I'll take just regular cases and run through scenarios, like just to make sure, especially when the new things come out on the software.
That you've got it too.
Yes.
So you can teach it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So even before I go to any trainings or I do any of my courses, I work those cases first. So I know what to expect if there's going to be something going wrong with them, an error or whatever. I can manage that beforehand.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I know how to fix this.
Yes. Actually, just push this button, it'll skip that.
That's smart, though.
Yeah.
And I would think that's got to be, you've got to be constantly updating yourself. And that's
yes.
great to know that Sean and Noack have everything there for you.
Yes.
Smart.
Yeah. And there's reseller trainings, right? I've been to, if Mailbox has something or like Exocad has webinars, 3Shape. If there's ever a new feature, like I said, I dive into that and figure out how to work that.
Sounds like you spend a lot of time on Zoom calls and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot of time, but maybe 40% of my time.
That's a lot. I can't do it.
Do you still live in Florida?
Yeah.
East Coast?
Yeah, still in Melbourne.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you ended up moving, but you don't really need to, do you?
No.
Sweet.
Florida's beautiful. But
Not leaving.
Yeah, no. I'm like 11 minutes from the beach.
Sweet.
I was
Same
about
here.
5. So, yeah, it's so nice.
Awesome.
So here's the question. What do you prefer teaching, Exocad or 3Shape? Give it up. You used to be quite the 3Shape
I remember
girl.
that.
You
Facebook,
were.
3Shape.
Leave it to Elvis. He'll call me to the
floor.
Yep. Honestly, it just depends. It depends on
we hear
what
that a lot.
restoration is being taught. It depends on the process that current lab already takes on. It depends on the way they learn.
Interesting.
So
does size matter? Size of
Size
lab?
matters, of course.
Well, come on. That's not what I meant. But I mean, like,
you're talking to two females. How do you ask that question?
Son of a. Does the size of the lab, with the amount of technicians using the software, matter to what software is better for them?
So the size of the lab, can you ask that one more time? I'm so
So
sorry.
if it's a big lab,
Yeah.
is 3Shape or Exocad a little better or easier to train than a small lab that only has a few people?
No, I don't think
You can scale each one to both?
Yeah, I feel like, so I cap the number of technicians that are in person. Depending on what we're teaching, there's been certain situations where I capped it at 5, certain that I opened it up to 10. But when I do that, I have to plan for maybe not being able to get as much into that day as what we would want to.
That's
because
a lot of technicians, honestly,
Yes.
5 and 10.
Yes.
Because you're letting them do it and you're
no
over their
joke.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Yes.
That takes some time.
Going through the cases, yes. And it's so valuable, right? Because I get to be right there with them when they're running into whatever situation or know how to handle it. But it is a lot to manage and make sure they get what they're expecting out of it. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. Like,
am I getting
to them?
This?
Yes. So that they can grasp it and apply it later when I'm not there.
Do you get to see a lot of aha moments?
A lot of what? Aha.
Where people are like, whoa, that's how you do it.
Honestly, yes. And I had an experience with a lab that I worked with in Ohio back last year. And they were completely new to digital. And they had started from the ground up, just bought all their new equipment. And there was a concept in there that I needed to teach them to be able to handle when they bring their trying cases back in to go to final. And it's not exactly straightforward. So when we were going through it, and it was really like file swapping.
Yeah.
And one of the technicians, young kid, under 20 years old, I believe. Asked me a question about that. Like, it was a question like, oh, you get it. Like, I needed to hear that. He understood what was going on. He wanted to know more.
Yeah.
So those moments, for me, that's like my aha moment. I'm like, I love it when you see that one. It's usually one. Right,
that's
out
why
of the
you're a
group
teacher,
right?
right?
Yeah.
And a technician. It's like you get it.
Yes. And so I told him, hey, and his boss, hey, if you guys ever want to dive into all on fours, he's your guy. Because he gets that you have to have, like, it's just a certain kind of understanding 100%. That clicks in there, and he had it. So I have some of those moments.
That's awesome. That's got to feel really good.
Yeah,
good
it does.
You.
It makes it worth it.
Yep.
Long flights and travel time.
Do you miss being in the lab anymore?
Do I go into the lab anymore?
No, do you miss being in the lab all day?
Sounds like you're in the lab all day.
Yeah.
Last time I saw
Different
you was
capacity.
at a lab, and you were working, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes a little more.
Yeah.
I do miss being in the lab sometimes, but that's why I like that I get to go into the lab.
Oh, it's so great
now
seeing other labs.
When I walk in, it's like, I feel
it's like home.
Yes, it is like home.
Yep.
I do on Saturdays work with a oral surgeon in Orlando, and I do his lab work.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, not
so
every
still
Saturday,
doing
but
that. Wow, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I
Good
have
for
to.
you.
Oh,
because you love it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I love
needed
hearing
something
that.
to keep my hands. I don't want to get rusty.
So what do you do? Do you design his large cases? And
sometimes I'll do some of his designs for him. He usually has them already done. I usually just do like the green steak carving, the porcelain application, pre-center staining, and
it's in your blood.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. And sometimes he'll have me like be in there with the patient, take their temps off, put their temp or final on, new temp or final.
Cool.
So it keeps me like in the groove. I feel like it would be hard to me to feel like I was remaining authentic if I didn't have my hands in the lab somewhere.
Yeah.
Well said, honestly.
Yeah, thank you.
It makes it easy for you to teach it if you continue to do it.
Yeah, and I love it. And I know the people that do it, they have to love it too, because it's not a walk in the park every day.
No. Whitney, it seems like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It seems like you're really enjoying it.
You got great nails.
And doing
Thank you.
That technician shouldn't have.
Yeah. Oh, or maybe they should.
I don't think you can.
Right? When I took my CDT exam, I had to take them off, but I took them off about a week before because I had to get my feeling
you passed
back.
the digital, didn't you?
Well,
Did
implants.
You take that?
I haven't took the digital practical yet, but
good
in
for
implants.
You. I saw that on Facebook.
Yes,
Excellent.
Wow,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank
Are you going to do the digital? I think you have to.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do the
Does
digital.
a cat have an
Yes.
I can see that happening.
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And as far as like this year and what we got going on this year, we've got 4 invitationals. So we're going to be.
I saw that.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes. So there's one in Boston in July. Then there's August, I believe. No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Seattle in July.
Seattle.
Boston in August, and then there's Charlotte in September and Dallas in October.
Wow.
Damn.
So completely free. They're completely free events. You get to play golf, have delicious food, and I'm doing a course at each one of those. We're a presentation.
Yeah.
But we have 4 different presentations at all of them, and they're all CE credit approved.
That's fantastic. Last year he did maybe 1 or 2, and now it's 4?
Yes.
So it must have been super successful. Good for you guys.
I think the first year was 1, and then I think
there was one
it
in
was
Charlotte,
2 last
North
year.
Carolina,
we did Dallas
maybe?
and Charlotte,
Yeah.
yes, and so we added 2 more cities this year.
That's excellent. Seattle.
Could you please
Let's
let
go.
them know that the Midwest would like one of those
Yeah,
too?
ask them.
I mean, it seems like you're missing a big part of the area.
We went to all 4 corners,
Yeah.
or just the south. And
Yeah, can you just,
Ask
Ohio,
Sean if he wants the
Indiana,
podcast to go to
Illinois.
Seattle, will you?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I'll find out for you. That would be great.
That would be great.
So how do people find out about that website or
the invitational? So we sent out like a blast email to all of our customers.
Yeah.
I advertise it on Facebook some, and I know on our NOAC Dental Supplies page there's a link to it. So you can just register,
Excellent.
and it's completely free.
And I'll put one on this episode show notes so people can hook. If you're in the area or just want to travel, I mean, it's worth it for a nice free
Yes.
Top Golf, I imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are always fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah.
And last year at the invitationals, I did a course at each one of them, but we didn't attach the course to these this year because there's 4 different cities, and we want to make sure we have like enough interest to be able to host the course. So when we go to these, people ask about a course. Hey, are you going to do a course? And we'll add that back in as that.
Yeah.
Cool.
If enough people sign up, you'll do it.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go.
Exactly.
I love
Build
it,
they'll
too.
come.
Whitney, Courtney, always a pleasure.
You.
Thank you.
You
You all
so
too.
much.
Good job.
Thanks.
Bye.
A huge thanks to Nick, Dany, Ifet, and Whitney for sitting down with us in the Jensen Dental booth at the FDLA Symposium. We do really love to hear from lab owners that love what they do and provide all that they can for their employees. And Dany is doing just that. And if you talk to any of his employees, they would agree. And we do also appreciate Nick for all that he has done in the industry, and we can't wait to see what big things he can do with that DSO that he is working with. And congratulations to Ifet to all your success. It seems like everything that you wanted to do, you did, and you just keep growing. We know it won't be long before you have the lab exactly how you want it and running it exactly how you want to run it. And of course, it's always good to catch up with Whitney. We wish you the best of luck, lady. You're so awesome. All that we can say is that the lab is very lucky to have you. It's unfortunate that she is no longer teaching the industry with NOAC Dental, but we know that Sean and NOAC Dental believes education should be the forefront of what they do, and they do believe in the CDT program. Yay! If you have a desire to teach others like Whitney did, Sean NOAC would love to talk to you. Contact NOAC Dental today and start a journey that we would love to hear on the podcast someday.
Great opportunity for someone with a passion for sharing.
You know it.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you, and we will talk to you next week.
Good one.
Bye. What shall a single guy do but record a podcast?
Yes, sir.
The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.